Okay, good evening, everyone. You are highly welcome to today's Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. My name is Johnson Wall, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. So, like we announced, today we'll be looking at AI, the impact of AI on health and safety. I will be broadly looking at the risk and opportunities for safety professionals. So, we'll start with a presentation that will be led by Mr. Stephen. After the presentation, there will be time for question and answer, and there will also be time for contributions, sharing personal experience and personal knowledge on the topic. So without wasting much time, I will hand over to Mr. Stephen to proceed with the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much for this brief introduction for today's discussion. And I remain Stephen Francis. Like Mr. Johnson have introduced me. Today we'll be talking about the impact of AI on health and safety. We're going to try to look at the risk and opportunity for us as an health and safety practitioner. Because there is this belief that the new technology is going to displace a lot of professional within this space, and it has been a challenge. It has been a debate. So, but today we're going to be learning a lot of information. We're going to be having some stuff to take home, as a professional, which might help us and so also guide us as a professional. So today, this presentation will explore the evolving landscape of artificial intelligence in the workplace and its implication on occupational health and safety professional. And also we'll dive into the potential benefits, challenges, ethical consideration surrounding its implementation, especially in the context of the workplace. Okay, so by introducing artificial intelligence, I would like to remind us that this term was coined by John McCarthy from Stanford University, which happens to be the first faculty member in artificial intelligence. Then he defined it as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Okay, so much research as human program software agents with knowledge to behave in a particular way, like playing chess. But today, as we all know, we emphasize agents that can learn just as human beings navigating a changing world. Going further, I want us to see this discussion today in different contexts. Okay, so in the context of occupational health and safety, most of the information you see appeared on the slide, they are not just my own words, because I took time, do my research, some publications, scholarly publications, some article written by some professionals were brought together to bring out this information I'm sharing today. So when we look at it at the context of occupational health and safety, we can say artificial intelligence plays a significant role in enhancing occupational health and safety by enabling a real-time monitoring of workplace hazard, predicting risk, improving preventive measure. Okay, so for every definition of what I've said, you see a reference who have done research on this aspect, who have done publication, who have done series of articles. They are available online. I have the reference link, which we can also go through. And also AI application, AI application include wearable device for continuous health monitoring, smart sensor for detecting environmental hazard, and predictive analytics for identifying potential risks. You see, all this information I'm giving, they are very important and vital in keeping the workplace safe. So we begin to see all these benefits from all this contextual understanding and meaning. Now we're talking about the high-risk sector like construction and mining. AI helps in risk management by automating hazardous tasks and providing real-time feedback. These are simple and layman English, which I believe we should all understand. When we talk about automated tasks, people who do a lot of job that will have an effect on their musculoskeletal system. When a work or a task is automated, it reduces such risks, such musculoskeletal disorder or issues that might arise at the end of the day. So AI can significantly enhance the creativity of each professional by providing us with tools that augment our creative process. Because when you look at generative AI, it supports divergent thinking, by generating novel ideas, facilitating brainstorming session, helping professional overcome creative block. Sometimes as a professional, we might face these challenges of creative block, but with the help of generative tools, which personally as a professional today, I use it. It has come to the era where we begin to explore. I'm preparing for my dissertation and all that for my MBA program, and I've come across a lot of tools which has been so helpful for me today. So it is very important that we identify many of these generative tools and begin to explore, begin to leverage it with what we do on our daily basis to ensure that our workplace are safe. As we go on, we'll continue to see some things that it unfolds. And also, AI can also automate routine tasks, which I've said earlier, allowing us as a professional to focus more on strategic aspects of our work. So some words, we need to be holding it in our heart, when we talk about strategic thinking, there are some things this AI cannot do for us. Okay, so we need to grow as a professional to the level where our contribution to the workplace will be at a strategic level. Okay, so even if we are afraid that AI will take some tasks away from us, it's just going to take away some tasks in terms of going to normal routine, going to the site, inspecting, doing one or two things. So we'll leave that for the technology. There are other things, there are other aspects where we need to come in. So in that aspect, we need to be thinking how we're going to grow as a professional to a level where your contribution in the workplace will be in a strategic level, not yala going to sites, who wear PPE, who does not wear PPE. So I think those are the areas that is going to be taken over, and some others that will come across later. So AI-driven technology offer real-time monitoring and predictive analytics, which I've said earlier, but these are people's research that enabling proactive risk management and developing a creative safety solutions. However, challenges such as ethical concern, data privacy, and the need for skilled personnel must be addressed to fully leverage on AI potential in occupational health and safety. Yes, this technology comes with its own challenges, as we all know, and it is very important. I'll be stressing on certain things, skilled personnel. So which means whatever skill we have today as a professional, we need to upgrade. So these areas, we need to be picking it to have an idea what we are going to do in order to stay at the level of this technological advancement. So it is important and imperative that as a professional, we should advise organization, we should advise government bodies, on how this can be integrated in order to improve workplace safety and foster a culture of innovation. Now, in the context of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science focused on creating systems capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, These tasks include making prediction, recognizing objects, interpreting speech, and generating natural language. AI also is the science and engineering of creating intelligent machines, particularly computer programs that perform tasks requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception and decision making. And also, AI system learn by processing large data sets and identifying patterns, which help them improve over time without being explicitly programmed for each task. Okay, so it also can be identified as pattern, of a large data set, that inspire new hypotheses and idea. And also, it is believed to be a subset that focus on systems that learn from data to improve their performance over time. So this technology doesn't all work alone. It requires some set of data. So when we look at in the context of business management, okay, it can create process, or it can make process more accessible and cost effective, enabling a kind of broader participation and innovation. It can also enhance human creativity. When you leverage it, it enhances your creativity in the workplace. So that is why there must be a leverage. There must be a kind of marriage between we as a professional with this advanced technology. It is only when we leverage it together, that is when you see, ordinarily, even if you are not creative, when you leverage it together, it makes you more and enhance your creativity. In fact, most of the things people do today, even in the internet, what you see are with the support or attachment with this generative intelligence. So it's also is a kind of tool, that will provide a creative professional with new possibility by handling routine tasks, allowing them to focus on strategic aspects. Just like I've said earlier, you see, all these things are from different authors. So you might see some words, some terminology still repeat itself. Don't mind me; they are not just my words 100%. Okay, so that's why you might see them evolving amongst the slide. So in terms of the supply chain management, we all know what AI can do in terms of autonomous supply chain by optimizing stock management and improve demand planning through predictive analytics. All these things, bringing it into the system, which is what any board of director will be interested in, because this will improve productivity. In as much they want to improve productivity, they will want to look at the aspect of AI in terms of how it can it can reduce accident in the workplace, which is more easier. And generally, this technology are widely used across various industries, enhancing the capability, especially in the area of healthcare, finance, manufacturing, process industry, the construction, and all that, and providing data. Because at the end of the day, there are some data that are so complex that even you might not be able to handle within a day, even within a month. But with the help of AI, you can see within a twinkle of an eye, you generate, and it gives you what you need. Whatever I produce, whatever it gives you at the end of the day, gives you an insight on how we are going to implement some processes when it comes to health and safety. So now I wanted to look at an important aspect. I just try to look at the SWOT analysis, the artificial intelligence SWOT analysis for occupational health and safety. When we look at the strengths, because when we talk about the SWOT, we're talking about the strength, the weakness, we look at the threats and opportunity. Now, in terms of AI enhance workplace safety by predicting and identifying risk, reducing exposure to hazard, and improving safety protocol and procedure through predictive analytic process. Okay, in terms of efficiency, is streamlined data, just like I've said. Like I said, this thing might repeat itself, but they're from different authors. The streamlined data analysis for accident prevention and monitoring, increasing operational efficiency. In terms of the weakness with this technology, their data dependency. So if there is no data, whatever whatever prompt you are asking any generative tools, for example, if there is no information available, then he is as empty as a box. Okay, so whatever this generative tools brings to you when you prompt, when you ask the questions, are already available on the internet. But at least it can organize it in a way whereby you pack a lot of data, you pack a lot of information, you start, gone are those days people do research. You have to bring out different articles, you want to do literature review, you begin to, how cumbersome you'll be dealing with. I could remember during my undergraduate days, I dealt with about 80 publications for my literature review. And I know how long it took for me to do the literature review of such published work. But today I'm doing my MBA. I'm using a lot of tools. And within a twinkle of an eye, I can do what I want, even with hundreds and thousands of these articles. Okay, so, but the most important thing is you understanding, have the basic knowledge of health and safety. Without you having the basic knowledge of health and safety, there's no way we can leverage on this technology. So fundamentally, our elementary, our knowledge, basic knowledge are very, very important. So like I say, it is data dependence. And also the cost implication is that these are technology and they are not cheap. So implementing such kind of system can be expensive and will require significant investment in technology and training in order for an organization to be able to achieve this. I think in a developed and advanced country, these things are being embraced rapidly because these are countries who are investing in technology. Here in Qatar, we can see that even a lot of government agencies have started implementing a lot of things, even in their judicial system, which can help them write a lot of things and conclude on some cases. Even in the Ministry of Interior, you could see that there are some cameras here in Qatar. They have a sensor. All these are AI embedded. These are AI technology they are using today in order for them to enhance, the functionality of such ministries or departments within the government sector. So when it comes to threats, advanced monitoring, AI can improve real-time monitoring in the workplace, in terms of workers' health and safety, offering early warning for potential issues. Because when it's able to detect, you know, we can be able to know what to do and what to act on. And also innovative solution. It's also enable a new safety solution like cobot, where you use a kind of robot and wearable tech. In some country, developed country today, you see people using some kind of wearable gloves, clothes. Also, those people perform some tasks that require um, um, using their muscle, that can result to musculoskeletal issues. So some other kind of wearable you can put on your body that can detect, can even give you a signal when you're entering a place that is hazardous, it detects. See, all these things are available, but I think it is more in an advanced way. And because the word AI is becoming too popular, people are scared. In the oil and gas, you have this detector you use when you're going into a confined space. This that can detect gas. So these are technology. Some of these applications, some of these tools are like this. They have been in existence even before most of us joined health and safety, but we don't know. So for us, I'm just encouraging us, we don't need to be scared. But these are things that when they are put in place, they are just going to help us, to make sure that the workplace is safe, and also reducing our own risk as a professional, especially in the part of the world we come from. When accident happen, we know the first person that when the police come on site, we know the first person they will take before start asking of whoever else. We know the safety will be held responsible first. So, and we need to know this. In terms of opportunity, we look at the ethical concern, issues as um, what we call issues such as privacy, job displacement. I think I missed this up. I'm very sorry. This should come from, it should be coming from, I think I missed it up between threat and opportunity. Please, I want us to get a note on that. So maybe because I was on pressure preparing this. So I think that should come from the threat aspect in terms of ethical concern and risk reliability. So it's just going to be swapped. Okay, so my apologies. So the issue on privacy, job displacement, increased surveillance, post ethical challenges. Because sometimes when you have a camera on the site that survey a lot of things that is going on, so sometimes there are some personal things we do while we're at work. You know, this can expose, can create a kind of ethical issues for us. Because your information, some things you are doing, the privacy might not be there. So we need to be aware of that. And also when you look at the reliability of risk, the AI system potential failure or malfunctioning, could introduce new hazard in the workplace. This is a system, this is a technology. It's prone to failure. It's prone to malfunctioning. So, and if this happens, it will create a lot of issues. So that is why, as a professional, even if these things exist, there are people who are going to manage it. So who are going to manage it? You need people who are professional within such field. So when we look at the impact generally on the workplace, let's look at it positively and let's look at it from the negative perspective in terms of increased efficiency. This I have said it on previous slide, but I will just point on some word in terms of productivity and also align us as a professional and other people to focus on strategic work. Okay, in terms of job reorganization, some school of thought, some authors believe that the introduction of AI will not displace, it's not going to displace our job. Instead, it will reorganize, it will reorientate our tasks on what we do. And for me, I support that school of thought, and I'll tell you why in further slide. And also, it helps in improving decision making. There are some things, even within yourself as human, for you to analyze. You can use analytic tools. You can use some tools that can help you put one or two things together and give you an insight and provide you a kind of an insight in making decision. And also, information that will be provided from all this device can make an organization, the board of directors, the management, make certain decisions when it comes to health and safety. And also in terms of job quality improvements, the automation reduce some kind of tedium and improve safety, but may increase work intensity and stress due to high performance expectation from such technology. In terms of negative implication, the dependence on AI, when you have this over reliance on AI tools, it can also reduce employee, even as a professional, our ability to think, with our brain creatively. So, as an individual, it's better we balance it. Okay, we balance it so that we don't lose it completely, and we also look at homogenization of idea. AI system often generate content based on existing data, which I've said earlier, which can lead to lack of originality and diversity in creative outputs. So this be a challenge also. Okay. So the valuation of human creativity. Yes, when everybody so much rely on it and all that, it tends to devalue our creativity as human. So we must always, blend it with our existing knowledge, because sometimes it is the data that is available. If those data that are available are not 100%, it's all about garbage in, garbage out. What you're asking is what is going to give to you. What it can gather, what it can get from the environment is what is going to give to you. So it now takes you as a professional, what you've read from your traditional knowledge, you bring it together, you merge it with what you are able to get, what information is giving you. Then at the end of the day, you can be able to analyze and say, you can filter and say, okay, this is not relevant, this should be relevant from my knowledge, from what I've gotten from a field of practice, practically, and my theoretical knowledge. You will be able to harness these things together and come out with good insights in terms of decision making on our respective sides. So when you look at the risks, challenges of AI in the context of occupational safety, yes, the data may be biased, just like I've said. So most of this data might not be 100% efficient, So, and this might also lead to inaccurate risk assessment and potentially harmful. Yes, there are a lot of devices that can be used, with the help of AI to carry out risk assessment on sites. Okay, that is why I said fundamentally, your knowledge as a professional is important. It's not going to take, see, the AI cannot work alone and be 100%. The technology still needs us. Okay, it still needs us. It's not going to displace us completely. So, like I said, I'll be bringing out some points in some slides to make us understand where we can come in. And also, one of the challenges that they lack transparency because the complex nature of AI algorithm can make it difficult to understand how they reach their conclusion, potentially hindering trust and accountability, which some school of thought, some authors believe. Okay, I've said something about over reliance on the system. Okay, so if I go further, I will look at the significance of the application, of this artificial intelligence in industries, as it's relates to health and safety. Okay, we all know about predictive analytics. It can analyze data, it can identify patterns, and it can also predict, especially it can predict what can happen, which is a good thing for us not to have seen that, okay, accident, we might just be saying, okay, near miss, near miss, near miss, too much near miss. We have this pyramid that can say, okay, how many number of near miss you have can lead to a particular accident or fatality and all that. But with this kind of technology, it can predict, what can happen in the next week, in the next month, in the nearest future, and things like that regarding workplace. So it is essential for us to understand all these things. So real-time monitoring, it helps a lot. It can monitor the site. We don't need to start going, to the site and start detecting, even as human, we all know, even if we want to carry out a risk assessment as a professional, why do we say and why do we believe that we need to take the workers along? Because there are some things we cannot see as a professional because they do the job. There are some hazards we cannot identify ourselves, and there is no way. That is why sometimes when you go out for inspection, it is not everything you can see, but also with the help and leverage of this technology, we can be able to have this thing picked up and identified. So autonomous equipment and robotics, we can see in some industry, this can also help to reduce, we don't just need to look at ourselves alone because we are not working in an organization just for ourselves alone. Why are we passionate? Because we want people to be safe. We want people not to have occupational sickness. We don't want people to have any form of injury that is related to the workplace. So if we have an equipment or robotics that can help carry out some difficult tasks that can affect human, then so be it. It's all about reorganizing. It's all about reorientation. We have to change the pattern. So if it's going to affect a particular task or job significantly, then there must be a kind of switch in terms of skill, upskilling, reskilling, and all that in order to help people stay in their job. We'll come to that also. In terms of behavior analysis, it can also, there's what we call behavioral safety. So some of these devices can be able to pick some behavior of workers within the work site, which can predispose them to accident and all that. So for me, I see it's just like, I would say AI is an assistant. It's a safety assistant technology, so in my own context. Okay, so it's also helped to enhance training and simulation because when it comes to training, it will help workers a lot, and also practice a lot of emergency response in risk-free environment. So in terms of proactive safety measure, like I've said, it can also suggest how we can mitigate. It can suggest strategy for us, which we can use in our routine day-to-day job. So in terms of risk prioritization, such system can also prioritize risks by analyzing the data which we provide for them, or which they can, because if it has to do with your site, the device cannot go to the internet and pick data elsewhere. So sometimes if you're talking about data now, data that relates to your own specific site, he cannot get those data. You need to provide the data. When you provide the data, then this intelligent machine will be able to generate, instead of you doing manual plotting and all that, it will generate and give you what you need in a virtualized form. So with what is just scary. Technology has been there. They have been helping us as a professional. If you are preparing reports, if you don't put in data, how can you get all those pie chart, bar chart, and all that to present to management? Because we cannot be given a cumbersome write-up. They will not understand. We just need something like a picture for them to see. So these are the areas we need to be looking at this. Okay. So in terms of risk scoring, they can function in all those places also. In terms of compliance and reporting, AI automate compliance monitoring and streamline incident reporting, ensuring adherence to safety standard and enabling quick response to safety in terms of accident and all that. So, like I said, there are ethical concerns surrounding this new technology or emerging technology with respect to occupational health and safety in all industry where we find ourselves. Privacy and data security is very important. Like the system rely on data. So how accurate is that data? It's also very important. Okay. In terms of collecting of some information, there might be bridging some privacy gap, some privacy, which are issues when it comes to regulation. These are areas that will be looked into because no matter how it is, there must be a regulatory requirement. Okay, so and because when our data or information are taken, it is our personal information are stored. So all these privacy concerns are issues which professionals are looking into at the moment. So in as much in some places they started implementing, in some areas, in some jurisdiction, is not yet being implemented. So in terms of bias and discrimination, it can inherit bias, okay, from data that are available. So if you don't give him the accurate data, it is what you provide is going to give out whatever is generated at the end of the day. So there might be bias, there might be discrimination based on how the data has been trained to produce what information you need. Okay, which might lead to kind of unfair or discriminatory outcome at the end of the day. So in terms of job displacement, I've said it, it's not necessary that it's going to displace us completely. Okay, yes, it might lead to some certain level of job loss if you are not ready as a professional to do the needful. Okay, which I will show us in another slide. So it can also dehumanize people by decreasing our autonomy, our freedom to do certain things, within the workplace as well. Going forward, this is the most important slide for me, for this particular presentation today, because I'm talking to professionals who are largely within the health and safety space. It is important that as a professional, we need to upskill and reskill, ourselves in order for us to leverage and adapt to this driven technology within our environment or within our space. So number one, we have to be AI literate. The literacy is very important. As a professional, we must, for you not to be displaced and for you to belong. That's why I tell you, I believe in that school of thought who says it's going to reorganize, it's going to reorientate the way we do our job. So if you decide not to be literate when it comes to this new driven technology, then you as a professional are going to be displayed. So it is essential that we have this understanding about this technology and the application in terms of us Okay. So data analysis and management. You see, you might not be a data analyst. Okay, there are some soft skills. There are some soft skills training we can acquire to have the basic and fundamental knowledge of data analysis. Before AI, data analysis has been existing, but these are skills that we need to begin to acquire. I'm telling you, as a professional, all these things that I've listed here today, if we can begin to acquire them, there are some places we can get these things online for free. We can do it. If it is paid, if it's just little amount, we could begin to get this. You know, there can be data analysis and data analysis for artificial intelligence and all that to be specific to your industry. It is very important we begin to look at all these things. These are the only way where we can stay, we can belong, we can be able to leverage. Because if you don't have these skills, you cannot leverage, you cannot adapt to this new technology. Okay, so we need to understand also what is predictive analytics. These are skills that we need to know. People will not just come and say and tell us about some terminology for us not understanding it. What is predictive analytics? You know, it's all about using the tools to forecast potential hazard. Sometimes these things, they don't just work on their own. They still work in collaboration with humans. And who are these humans? They will not go and bring an admin, somebody who is a business admin, to be collaborating with. If he's collaborating in his own field. But in terms of health and safety, you are going to be involved because in theory, you understand this thing. In basic knowledge, you have all these things when it comes to health and safety. In terms of problem solving, so there are some issues that could be so challenging on our side. You know, before the emergence of AI, there are so many things that are so complex that are so difficult for us, even in terms of making decisions. But with the help of this driven technology, we can solve a lot of problems. We can solve a lot of the issues within seconds, within minutes. So, and we need to also have this little bit of technical proficiency. We need to familiarize ourselves with different tools. Like I said, I'm running my MBA program. I'm doing my dissertation. See, I'm leveraging it on a lot of tools, which is called artificial intelligence today. A lot of lecturers, a lot of professors are using it. See, because it reduces time, it reduces stress, it reduces constraint. That such kind of work can be done within a short period of time. So this I will be leaving with us. It is very, very important to begin to get all those things. Compliance management, you know, when we use it, we can be able to comply in terms of regulatory requirements, you know, because we're able to track compliance in terms of safety, in terms of requirements, whether ISO or whether within local jurisdiction. Now, most importantly, project management. Okay, as a professional, we are leaving this project management for the project managers, right? That is where we are all getting it wrong. And I can see, even when you go to LinkedIn, you see some safety professional there, even becoming a certified project managers. See, these are added advantage. These are skills that you cannot throw away. It is essential for us. In whichever way we need to get this knowledge and skills about project management, whether on a more paid level by doing it within the Project Management Institute or some sort of training centers like that. The basic thing is the knowledge. While I was doing some what do they call it, modules in my MBA program, there were some module we talked about operation and project management. It was a module that handled that aspect. So it's very essential, you know, because when they introduce such system into an organization, into a company, there must be somebody that will manage it. It is not the project manager of this. So this has to do with, except your organization does not have a department, but if they have an health and safety department, a safety manager is also a project manager. Because when you're introducing a technology like this into health and safety department, the project manager will not come and manage that system for you. You as an health and safety practitioner, you will be the one to manage it. So it is important you have that skills, the knowledge of project management in order for you to survive. creative thinking, like I've said. Using such application can also improve your creative thinking, and also because it can challenge you, it can task you also, on your existing or residual knowledge. So system thinking also, it also gives this ability to apply system thinking, in order for us to assess some ergonomic risks, integrating different kind of solution, for people to be safe at work. In terms of communication skills and collaboration is very, very important. Okay, we need to have these skills also in terms of communication, because effectively you need to be able to convey AI insights and strategy to stakeholders. It is very important, because if you are lacking that communication skills as a professional, which we should have even before the emergence of AI, so having it, reskilling about it, improving it, it will help us, because when we have these communication skills and have the ability to collaborate, then we can be able to sell a lot of ideas within the stakeholders, either internally or externally. And engaging with these stakeholders and effectively communicating this have a huge benefit, and also um, help to reduce risk within our workplace. Continuous learning is very important. All this thing I'm preaching today is all about continuous learning. All these things, we can acquire them from our different CPD, continuous professional development. If you belong to a professional organization, you can also get, there are so many. For those of us who are IOSH member, you will see there are a lot of CPD activity events that have been posted that has to do with artificial intelligence. The more we keep attending them, the more we keep attending a lot of webinars that talks about AI, then we begin to understand so many things that have been frightening to us, and see that, no, this thing should be a challenge for you to acquire some skills in order for you to leverage and succeed as a professional. Now, looking at the regulatory framework and guidelines for responsible AI implementation, for any organization to implement such, we need to advise, and every country who have started implementing it, I believe they've formulated a lot of framework behind it. A lot of work is been going on, to develop a clear guidelines for data collection. It's very important, so they don't collect what the system will not collect what is not supposed to collect. The use and the storage is essential for privacy concern. Also, in regulatory framework, developing a framework or guideline, we need to look at ensuring transparency and explainability of this algorithm, which this AI is going to be using, and also in terms of decision-making process, and also establish a robust mechanism for monitoring and evaluating AI system. It cannot work in isolation. So you can also develop a skills in an area where you can be a kind of risk evaluator, because AI poses a risk. It also has a risk in the workplace. You understand? If you are a risk professional, you can begin to specialize in this area in terms of monitoring and evaluating this system. So will you need a risk specialist from a banking industry to come and monitor it for you? No. As long as it's within your space or your field, one can begin to focus on all this area, because as it is, it has its own risk, as in as much as it provides a brighter future within the workplace. So in view of this slide, this presentation, I want to conclude and give us a kind of takeaway that why AI presents both opportunity and challenges, its potential to improve workplace health and safety is undeniable. We can see it clearly, it's written. By carefully considering the risk and ethical implication in terms of implementing robust regulatory framework, which I've said, and prioritizing human well-being, with that, we can be able to harness the power of this technology to create a safer and wealthy and sustainable workplace. Okay. And the takeaway is that organization must strike a balance between leveraging AI capability and maintaining human oversight when it comes to occupational health and safety management. As AI technology continues to evolve, its role on OSH management is likely to expand, likely to expand. offering new opportunity for creating safer and earlier work environment. The key to successful implementation lies in combining AI solution with human expertise. I've reiterated this from several slides. The technology cannot just work alone. The solution cannot work alone. There must be a need to harness it together with our expertise. So your knowledge is not wasted as a professional. You don't need to be afraid. And I tell you, you need to defend it anywhere. It cannot displace us completely when we do the right thing, when we acquire the necessary skills that we need to have in order to leverage this whole technology. I will say thank you for giving me this opportunity. And for those of us who will need this copy of this presentation at the end of the day, I have a couple of references. Okay, I have it about 8 slides where I got all this information from. Like I said from the beginning, they are not just 100% my words. I look at articles, I look at publications, work from different experts who have gone into deep research about all these things. So any information you've heard today is not fake, it's original. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and thank you very, very much for listening to my presentation. I think I will give the floor back to Mr. Johnson to pick up from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen, for that wonderful and elaborate introduction to AI, the impact of AI on health and safety. There's a lot of takeaway from here, and I'm so happy that I was part of the discussion today. One of the takeaway for me is that AI, just like people have thought or people are presuming, will not entirely take away the job from you. AI will not entirely take away the job from health and safety professionals. But there are some aspects of your job that AI can do, which means you need to step up. You need to step up and step above those type of job that AI can do and concentrate more on the ones that AI cannot do. So if you still remain on only conducting inspections, workplace inspections, AI can do that, if not entirely now, but in the nearest future, AI will be able to inspect the entire workplace without your contribution. So we need to evolve, not only you, me as well, we need to evolve above those routine tasks, because some of those routine tasks can be comfortably handled by these intelligent machines. Then another takeaway for me on that discussion is that there are certain aspects of our task or certain aspects of our job that can be improved with the help of AI. Improve in the sense that we can reduce our human effort by employing AI and these intelligent machines to reduce our stress, reduce what we do on a routine basis by allowing AI to do some of them, whereby we'll now concentrate on the more strategic aspect of the job, which AI themselves at this moment cannot be able to do. So that is the call that Mr. Stephen is calling, that while AI is developing, we should also be evolving so that the routine task that the AI is taking up, we can leave that behind for it. We can leave that behind for the intelligent machine while we take up the other strategic tasks that the AI cannot do at the moment. Because if we remain at that particular point and the AI is able to take over that particular one you are doing, which is the routine task, inspection of workplace, inspection of fire extinguishers, inspection of machines, equipment, tools, AI can comfortably do those things in few years' time. So if we are not evolving above those routine tasks and put our brain and our intelligence at work by learning other strategic jobs like he has recommended, like project management, so that we don't just focus on doing only the safety aspect of the job or regular safety aspect of the job, but there are additional intelligence or additional information you are bringing on board. So that will make you relevant as well. While AI is taking over the other jobs, but there are other relevant skills you are bringing on board, which AI cannot remove you from. So that is part of my takeaway from the discussion. I will allow others to give their own takeaway also. Thank you, Mr. Stephen, for your time.
You're welcome.
So the floor is open for anyone that want to add to the discussion.
Andrew
So
here.
thank you very
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Steve and Mr. Justin and everyone here. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It's really mind-blowing. It's a very welcoming time for us to embrace this technology advancement. Just as Mr. Steve has said, is the technology has been in place, just that it is advancing day by day, and we have to leverage on it to enhance our skills so that we can stay relevant in case when we come in contact with this thing. I first of all, first I experienced in Hammond International Airport, where I see AI in display. The system is in warehousing. So I was dumbfounded when I see how the technology works. Everything in the warehouse is being controlled robotically. The robots, they transport all the tools to all the shelves, no matter the height. I see how this machine moves like little trailers, go to different counter, they order the goods and transfer to the next level until they get to the final point where they need to use it. It was amazing. And I believe somebody is behind the scene, pressing one or two things, giving command on the system. So that really opened my eyes a lot. You see, there's advancement, just as Mr. Steve has said. This thing has been in existence, but it is advancing day by day. And it's been brought to us, gradually being introduced to us. And many of us are in kind of panic mode. I am not exempted, if I may say, because I think really I need a lot of work to do to get into this realm of operation, because we all are still struggling with the level of using the Excel, Microsoft Word, and all that. And there are a lot of other, lot of reporting tools to our level that we can also leverage on. One time I tried to enroll in one program, data analyst. At the time, I was phased out because I got confused. So it's like eye-opening. There are a lot of tools, Power BI and all that, just in this level. So you see that there is, in this technological age, we are looking at incorporating, or which many organizations have already doing, incorporating this AI into industries which has been in existence and is advancing. So it is very it's important call for us to upskills, just as Mr. Steve has emphasized on. We need to really upskill in our own capacity, because we cannot get it at once, or we cannot get to the brick. But the little we can learn about this AI, which is a good thing, we are here and we are learning already, is a very welcoming steps. So AI in computing generally, you look at the software aspect and the hardware aspect, their operating system and all that. So whichever area that we can fit in, especially in control of occupational health and safety, we should look at it and we can actually get more advice and see what we can do about it. For me, it's a welcoming idea, which I will try to see what I can do to advance and increase in knowledge regarding this AI. And I encourage each and every one of us to leverage on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew, for sharing your experience and encouraging us. We really appreciate. All right. We still have a few minutes. Let's give a few minutes for some other additions before we call it a day.
Okay, thank you very much. May I add something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So thank you very much, Mr. So I think nowadays AI play a vital role for the development, for the innovation and creativity. No other business will be survived without the addition of AI implementations. So we cannot rule out the AI factor playing a very important role in the new era of technological advancements. So AI implementations nowadays are the utmost requirement of the business survivability, and also the chatbots playing a very important role for the information delivering, also ChatGPT and Gemini. These are the very so I think so your presentation is very well oriented and in-depth detail for the HSE officers and the safety practitioners. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to add something and get acquainted with your very wonderful presentation. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tayab. Thank you for your valuable contribution. So,
Welcome.
yeah, do we have someone else that want to add something before we call it a day?
I think Mr. David wanted to, if he's still here, let him.
David was having network issues.
Okay. Let's see.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, I'm with you. Just that I'm having a network glitch, off and on.
Okay.
However, I believe I will have to go back to watch a replay of the session.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. David. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, and good evening, everybody.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Johnson.
Yes. Much thanks to Stevie for the beautiful presentation. Not long ago, I attended a presentation, an online webinar by Ayosh on the impact of technology in health and safety management, vis-a-vis with site activities. So, just like you have rightly said, I foresee a situation whereby down the road, maybe in another 3, 4, 5 years' time, health and safety professionals might be required to show some level of understanding of artificial intelligence before they can be given job offers. because from the way the AI is taking all aspects of life by storm, I'm very sure that occupational health and safety is not going to be left behind much longer. Because if you look at other sectors like transportation, even the restaurants and what have you, my first encounter with real AI in Dubai was when I boarded the metro. That was years ago. It wasn't the first time I was seeing the metro, but all the while, I had the impression that there was an operator, somebody like a driver, who was sitting in front seat that was controlling the movement of this train. Until a day, out of curiosity, I decided to get a ticket that was just a touch away from the end of the cabin. Let me sit down there and even see the person that is doing controlling this train. Only for me to get there, and I saw that there was nobody controlling it there. The entire operation is automated, which is AI. That is in the transportation sector. And so it's been gradually creeping into various sectors. It's coming to occupational health and safety now. It's not going to stop here. From here, it's going to move to other sectors. But what we need to do as professionals is to try as much as we can to catch up and possibly be a step ahead of it, because that is the direction that the wind is heading in a few years' time. So thank you so much for your presentation.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Thank you for your valuable input. We should brace up and get in touch with the reality, because it's not going to stop.
It's not.
It's sweeping every sector, and it's not going to stop at health and safety. It's going to touch us deeply.
Stop.
So if we are not ready, then we'll be left behind. All right, someone else was talking. Can go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Can I come in briefly?
Quiet. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Sorry, can I come in briefly? Just as an addendum to what Mr. Jackson just said, I want to share my recent experience. There was a job, I believe Mr. Jackson should be aware of this, that I applied for. The role was actually incident management and prevention on an ongoing project around somewhere in Tanzania. So on the job description, actually, everything is, my goodness. I've got to. I will deal with you, Divine.
They are part of the business. Go ahead.
Carry on. At least we will hear you. We will not focus on their distraction.
Very funny.
They cannot have their own house. That is part
Thank you for that. Please, can.
Yes, Mr. David, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. So, as I was saying, on the job, they didn't really specify some of these AI requirements. But during the course of the interview session, I realized what they wanted. You know, they needed someone with an AI background, you know, that already have some experience on how to utilize the generative AI tools, and who can help them develop a system from the scratch, you know, especially with Power BI, all right, because they will be managing multiple contractors. So they needed somebody who is grounded in generative AI, who can also use Power BI to create dashboard in order to, you know, manage the visual data of those subcontractor day to day. But this was not even captured in the job description specification, and that was why I applied for the role in the first place. So, but during the interview session, and I realized that. So that's one thing I realized with the involvement of the AI is that AI actually, for those that will be affected by the AI, are those health and safety professionals who have failed, to upgrade themselves, to improve themselves on how to use the AI, to equip themselves with the AI knowledge. But for those who are able to, grasp now, because we've seen that is one area where one new evolving skill that is fast growing, that's one area we need to improve ourselves. It's up for us to embrace this movement and try to upskill ourselves in this area so that we will not be among those that will be shortchanged, as
Yes, Mr. David, your point, we are so clear, and thank you for sharing that experience, which will help us to equip ourselves. Mr. Valentine, your hand was up.
With
Please
that
go ahead.
being said, I want to advise that each and everyone should do a gap analysis, to do a gap search in the area of AI so that you can develop yourself, know the skills you need, those AI skills you need, and so you can develop yourself in those areas in order not to be shortchanged, when it comes to the job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. David. Mr. Valentine, you can go ahead now.
Yeah, good evening, all. David, I was really sympathizing with you, but it's like as the moderator has said, it's part of the business when you have people that are trying to eat into what you are doing. Now, coming back to the same subject, AL or AI, it's nothing new. I'm not sure why a lot of people are getting panicked over it. Take, for example, the driverless cars you see around, the Teslas you see around. The Back in those days, we used to have the traffic. We didn't have the traffic signals. We had the traffic policemen controlling the signal, controlling the motorists, and that was putting their health and safety at risk. Now it modified to have this automated lighting system. So there's nothing new or panicky about AI. It's going to help modernize the job. Steve already clearly stated it will bring about better productivity, creative thinking. Same thing that we keep telling everyone. You need to upskill, think out of the box. It's not just 9 to 5 job you want to do. You need to think of between 9 to 5 or after 5 p.m. What else would you do to plan for a better job the next day? If you have things going on, you're not going to abandon the job and say, well, my job is done till tomorrow. It doesn't work this way. The beauty about AI is that it would cut down on mistakes. It will cut down on human errors. We have a lot of human errors in the business where people forget things. A guy who is supposed to make the PTW for some work, he forgets that it needs to be signed. A guy who is supposed to make the lifting plan for AI will cut out all this. But AI is not rocket science. I've seen a few times recently where accident happened in China because of AI. Two trains that were supposed to go at different times. For one reason or the other, a mistake happened, and there was a time lapse, and the first train had not left, and the second train smashed into it. Mistakes also happen, but this is all part of what we talk about evolving, improving, and efficiency. So, guys, don't be worried about or don't create any panic. Steve has already said basically, with or without AI, we have to improve. You have to think out of the box. You have to be creative. You have to, AI will definitely help to maximize job and improve efficiency. Same thing with what most of you know about the Lean Six Sigma. It tries to optimize instead of one person doing, instead of 10 people doing one job, it will have one person doing 4 jobs and being more efficient and productive at the end of the day. But the truth remains that AI is not going to be a problem solver. There will be mistakes. People will try to improve on it, and at the end of the day, to be highly efficient. So improve yourself, drive what you need to do, understand how to modernize the business, be proficient in whatever tools you need. With or without AI, things would happen in the next few years, but we need to move on, and we need to move on in a productive way and help AI whenever it comes to enhance the safety of the business at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valentine. That is a well encouraging aspect of the entire thing. It looks like AI has come to push all of us out of the job, but that is it there.
Yeah,
With
let
or
me just
without AI, we
okay.
need to upskill and we need to improve ourselves.
Let me just add one simple example, especially for the construction industry. We could see that those days, most of the liftings were done manually. Okay, you just have some kind of pulley system. You'll be dragging some some material from the ground floor, maybe to some levels, during the construction stage. But today we have lifting equipment. AI is just technology. It's just that people are being frightened by the initials, AI or artificial intelligence, as the case may be. So, but it's not going to displace us completely if we do the needful. At least a lot of us have said one or two things from our experience. Like Mr. Davis said, he couldn't proceed for a particular job because of, those things shouldn't deter you, because I know a lot of safety professionals who have done some courses on Power BI. It's all about business intelligence. So these are things that we need to find a way. See, and to start up with, we might not need a huge amount of money to start registering for maybe more, but we can, on Coursera, some kind of courses online, we can begin to get understanding, the basic knowledge of what Power BI is all about. We can begin to get understanding what artificial intelligence is all about in respect to health and safety. I believe with all these little things, having the introduction in our mind, we can be able to begin to start and begin to see in a different perspective. For us, we've had all the qualification we need as a health and safety professional. Except you want to be a professor of health and safety, then you'll be going for your PhD. Then, if we are thinking of more trainings, we should begin to look at all this area that can help us upskill ourselves and end up leveraging it in this area of emerging technology. Thank you very much, like I said earlier, for giving me this opportunity.
Well said, Steve. I do appreciate. However, I just want people to look at it from the point that we are giving examples. In those days, in the 80s, we had cars that we were using manuals. While driving the manual car, we struggle a lot. Then it modernized to automatic. Now you see driverless cars. Have the driverless cars taken off the jobs of the drivers? No, not actually. In fact, the driverless cars, well, it's people prefer it. However, the accident rates are high because of mistakes. This is machine. This is machine. It's not just about just setting that you need to go from this location. In the US, there are multiple accidents happening on a monthly basis with Teslas, with the driverless cars. However, there keep being improvements. People will continue their technological advances, like what you said. People will continue to look for cutting-edge technology to mitigate risk as well as improve efficiency. This is the bottom line of AI. However, people should not go and begin to panic or press the panic button or begin to lose sleep because they feel that you've said it all. People should be creative. People should think out of the box. Don't sit in one place and begin to believe that this is your last bus stop. No, you need to think of how to modernize yourself. You need to be efficient. You need to be able to maximize output and give better productivity, improve efficiency. Whatever tools, whatever resources you need, you can get it. Help yourself to grow, because you don't expect what you are doing 10 years ago, you will still be doing in the next 2 years. Life is not like that. It will move, and things will leave you behind if you are not ready to move or upskill yourself.
That is it. Thank you for those encouraging words. So, guys, I really appreciate us. I really appreciate everyone for our time today, especially Mr. Stephen for taking time to research and brief us on this emerging technology. Thank everyone for your contribution, and it's a pleasure to have you. Next week, we'll be having an important topic. Mr. Jase will be presenting a topic on that is, can you remind me, Mr. Jason?
Angle grinder safety.
Okay, so we'll be presenting a topic on angle grinder safety. So I will encourage all of us to be part of it as well. So let's keep a date on Thursday next week, 6 p.m. All right. Thank you for joining today, and wish you a blessed day.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.